Since 1961, Quartz Plumbing has offered friendly, reliable service to residences all over Bergen County, New Jersey. We are a fourth-generation family-owned business, unmatched in customer satisfaction and professionalism while working in your home. We are the hydronic heating and water filtration specialists, with a workmanship guarantee to put you at ease so you can rest comfortably. We offer financing for those big projects that catch you off guard, and we have a network of excellent contractors in all fields for any project you wish to tackle. Call our responsive office team, and we'll dispatch a handsome and educated technician to lay the smackdown on all your plumbing issues. You can also find us at quartzplumbing.com, search us on Google, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plum Bums Podcast, the blue collar tradesman show where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship, the everyman's podcast. I am Phil. With, as always, is Max, my trusty co-host. How we doing?
Let's talk about reparations. I want to talk about reparations.
All right.
And who deserves them? I deserve reparations.
Why do you deserve? Why?
I deserve reparations because this is the second time she crapped in my truck.
Oh,
and
yeah.
her shits are gross. Gross.
You want reparations from me?
Yeah.
Not like from the taxpayer.
Both.
Okay, so you're gonna have a long road to appeal to the taxpayer to compensate you for some random pug crapping in your truck.
I come back to the truck from a job that I stained this lady's carpet, all right, from moving a boiler. I stained the lady's carpet. She comes down. She said, she starts complaining. I said, I'm sorry. I'm going to go get some carpet cleaner. I come out to the truck, and I need double carpet cleaner because Frankie shit in my truck.
I got to be honest.
And it stinks so bad.
I was laughing the whole time you were telling me on the phone.
Yeah, I bet you were.
I had you on speaker with me and Vinny, and we were
I bet you were. And I get to the truck, and she's shaking like I'm about to come out and beat her. My dog is shaking
for her.
Yeah, like he knows that she did something wrong.
Oh man!
And it's all over her. It was all over her.
So, I don't know. Maybe I gotta. Well, okay. Maybe this will motivate. Maybe I gotta just take her for a jog in the morning, just to get them bowels moving.
She can't walk up the stairs. You want?
Well, she'll try to keep up. She tries to keep up with those. I don't know, Frankie.
Old Yeller.
Lucky for me, all pugs look the same. So if we do have to make a switch.
Yeah.
Folks, this is Dan. Dan is going to be our guest today. We're going to introduce Dan in a minute. But I do want to talk about fresh cuts for the spring. Why don't you take your hat off and show everyone our fresh cuts?
No, because it's not done up. It's not done up.
What do you mean done up? It's short hair.
I mean, it's not, I also have to take my headphones off.
I got to do this whole crazy thing.
It's too much. It's too much. I got to slick it. It's a whole thing.
So, I mean, I cut my hair so I wouldn't have to do that. You cut your hair and you still have to do that.
Yeah, well.
Listen, my thing is I stopped cutting my hair in August and I don't cut it again until March.
You know who berated me the most?
Besides me?
Besides you? My brother.
Oh, I believe that.
My brother said you have to get a haircut. You look ridiculous.
I mean, you finally grew into it, but your hair is like freaking thermostat wire.
It's wild in the morning. If I don't do anything with it,
you're like this bush that you can't even comb through.
No, I can't.
Good for you, though.
Yeah.
You'll look good when you're 60, if you make it. So let's talk about, we basically doubled our staff.
Yeah.
Our field staff.
It's been great. It's been great. First of all, both of them, I don't want to give them too many compliments, but
that is true. You don't want to.
Both of them have been pretty good. And
they're young guys.
I'll say the extra set of hands is like the best thing in the world. It is
amazing.
Best thing in the world.
They're younger guys. I mean, they're fresh out of school, but they're eager to work. They don't complain. They'll do whatever you ask them to do.
They suck. You guys suck.
Actually, Vinny was on the podcast with Brian.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe's probably going to be like, well, when am I going to get the podcast? But I'm going to be like, we burned that bridge already. Like that card is done.
Yeah.
We played that deck. We gave them a taste of the helper, and that's it. They don't need more than one bite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't need to do it.
I will say this: Renos are pouring in. They're pouring
I
in.
told you, even with extra guys, I think you need to get. Did we have your friend? What's his name?
I don't have friends.
No. What's his name that worked with us for a little while?
Kevin?
Kevin. Did you have Kevin on the? Do we have a Kevin on the podcast?
I don't know how that would go. I mean, I don't know.
But Kevin, what I'm saying is that Kevin was good with new construction. When I worked with him in new construction, he could zip through everything a lot quicker than I could because he's used to it.
Dude, he was a straight up commercial plumber, just everything
So
commercial.
I think you need, but even though we have more guys, I think you still need somebody who knows how to do commercial work.
Well,
kind
you
of
know.
zip through
You
it.
do.
I do
have a
know,
guy.
but it's not as fast as somebody like him who does it all the time. I don't do it all the time.
It's a lot of money you got to shell out for an experienced guy. He's going to want benefits and 401k.
Pay Kevin $25 an hour.
Kevin's got his license.
So $30 an hour.
What do you mean so?
35.
He's not an idiot.
35.
He'll be like, oh, okay, I came from a job where I was making 45 an hour, and now you're paying me 30, and I'm basically running the jobs.
And he doesn't have to do all the work.
He likes to do all the work.
I know.
That's what's crazy to me. That kid will he will work from sun up to sundown and then leave, go home filthy with a smile on his face.
I don't know where that
I don't either.
I don't know where that motivation comes from.
I mean, I'm a lot older than him. You're not. And you're just as miserable as I am. Oh, anyway. All right, one more thing. So you all remember Stuart the pig? Stuart the pig that rode around with us, right?
No, they don't. How can they remember Stuart?
I'll put a video of Stuart up. I'll splice it in right now. So Stuart the pig lives with my buddy out in Pennsylvania, and they just love him. Not true. Stuart is actually causing havoc. When we bought him, let's tell the story about Stuart. So me and Max were working over in Saddlebrook area,
17,
over on 17.
Lodi, I think.
Yeah,
it was.
somewhere around there. And it was like, ooh, an exotic pet store. Let's check that out on lunch. So we're walking around. They have like parrots, a sloth,
Toucan.
a toucan's just chilling there. Just crazy animals, a whole bunch of insects, fat tarantulas. And I walk over to like the one wall. I look over, and there's this 8-month-old little mini pig just staring up at me.
A Juliana pig with blue eyes.
It was the cutest animal I've ever seen in my life.
I heard a 12-year-old girl scream from across the pet store, and it was him.
It was the cutest little creature I have seen in my entire life. And I made eye contact with him, and he made eye contact with me. He spun it around a circle, and then he laid on his back and then looked up at me for me to scratch his stomach, and I just died. And I impulse bought this pig. Okay?
You forget to say that we left because I told you it's not a good
left.
idea. And then halfway
left.
down Route 17, he goes.
I'm like, I'm turning around.
He looks at me and he goes, "I'm gonna go buy that pig."
He was 4 or 5 pounds when I bought him. He was like this big, and he rode around in the trucks with us for a couple weeks, and then he put on some weight, and then he put on some more weight.
I'll give you some pictures to post of him and Maury in the basket.
Oh, hysterical. So my buddy out in PA has a little homesteading farm, adorable little place, 4 beautiful children, husband and wife. They take care of this little farm. They have a cow, they have a bunch of goats, they have chickens, they have turkeys, ducks, and now they have this little mini pig who was 5 pounds when I got him, and now he's 80 and is just a troublemaker. So I went out there. Finally, the wife is like, listen, you got to find a home for this pig or you got to shoot him in the head. Like, I can't keep him anymore. Because he kept breaking out of the pen I had for him. So, and she's been staying with the goats and has been ripping up the goat pen, like destroying it because they forage with their freaking bulldozer noses. So I finally got out there this weekend. I built him this whole pen, this whole luxury pen. He's got like the front where he can
wouldn't
look
call
out.
it luxury.
Oh, it's
Let's
luxury
not
for
call
a
it
pig.
luxury.
It's nice and big. His best friends are the chickens. He loves the chickens, so they're right next to each other. He has this little hut that is insulated, and it has a portrait of him hung up on the inside. It's retarded. But we got him in. He's in there. He's happy. She's sending me pictures of him, and every time he looks at the camera, he's got this big smile on his face. And I just die again. Stuart's the best.
Yeah, he's a cool pig.
Stuart's the best.
He is. He's friendly, which is it's not common. I
Very
think, for
friendly,
like a-
very affectionate.
Yeah.
I'll get some pictures on.
Yeah.
Folks, listen, we want to remind you that this show is sponsored by the following. Jigsaw PMR, jigsawpmr.com. Otto Contagious, hell of a business owner. Otto runs a really tight ship over there, runs a great business. They take care of any mold, fire, water, or sewer damage in your home, commercial space, or industry. The dude is phenomenally responsive. He's got all the tools of the trade, tricks to come in there, really cool equipment to come in there and look behind walls with UV, whatever. I don't even know how they work. Sonar. Guy could have a sonar machine for all I know, but he knows exactly what's going behind your walls. Give them a call, check them out online, or follow their cleanup journey on Instagram and Facebook. Jigsawpmr.com. Quartz Plumbing. What are we? Plum Bums is also sponsored by
Quartz Plumbing.
Quartz Plumbing, yes, but I blast out the commercials on that. We don't need to do that.
Oh.
Quartz Plumbing is also sponsored by New Jersey State League of Master Plumbers. If you are a blue-collar tradesman or specifically a plumber, you have to join your local association, and let me tell you why. If your local association will give you a voice, it'll give you a position at government. They will lobby the government for you. They will fight against injustice laws that are tackling small business, specifically tradesmen. They will raise charity. They will give you a network of other contractors who are in the same boat as you. They fundraise. They donate to charities. They donate to scholarships. They do a lot of fun stuff throughout the year. So if you are a plumber, join your local association. Me and Max here are a member of the Pascack Valley Association. Great organization. Once a month, we go to a really nice restaurant and have some delicious food. Actually, our guest, Dan, was on. You came to the last association meeting. You did a whole demo for your business and stuff.
I did.
And we will get into what you do. But Dan had a great time, met a lot of cool guys, did a phenomenal presentation. Who flies your drone? With that awesome drone footage.
We've actually X'd him out. We got a new guy.
Oh,
now.
did you?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I mean, those are some cool shots. It's very cinematic.
Yeah.
But if you're a plumber, join your local association. It's very important. All right, folks, thanks for joining us once again. We have Dan Radici from Brute Contracting joining Plum Bums today. I met Dan at the association meeting, gave a great presentation like I just said. So Dan, tell the people exactly what Brute Contracting does. Give them a quick overview of your scope of work.
Absolutely. First, Phil, Max, thank you both for having me. Pleasure.
No problem.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
$300.
Yeah.
Come on.
So happy to finally meet Superman.
Send out the check. So Brute Contracting is an underground water and sewer contractor. We specialize in installing sewer lines, replacing sewer lines, installing new services. We do a tremendous amount of road work, new installations for contractors, new installations for developers, water and sewer alike. And we also do a lot of ductile work. So if you got a fire sprinkler system or a building that needs a domestic and a fire, we have the ability to do that type of work too. So we pretty much all facets of underground utility construction. We're trying to get into some gas work now. And believe it or not, we're trying to get into some underground electric work as well this year.
To trench for all that and drop all that in for a homeowner, commercial, industry, all that?
Yeah, a lot of it's the startup stuff is like the residential stuff, right? Everyone's getting the EV vehicles, right?
Right.
So we work with some electricians. Okay.
So you're. I see.
Right, so
okay.
we go and we're going to try to attack that angle a little bit too. We actually have electrical license in house as well.
Oh wow.
We do. We have one. So we'll see how that goes. But we've done some work. We started late last year. It's kind of coming up quite a bit more this year. So that's trickling into.
It's going to get more and more.
Absolutely.
People putting those charging stations in their driveways.
There's plenty of people doing it.
You know what the first thing that comes to mind for me is power lines, putting the power lines underground.
Yeah, he's dying for power lines to go underground.
Every time I drive somewhere, do you never notice you're driving somewhere nice and you're looking and it's like beautiful, scenic, and then the power lines everywhere.
Yeah.
And it makes it ugly. Like my parents' neighborhood, it was a newer neighborhood that was built and everything was built underground. All the power lines went underground.
Where's that?
In Paramus.
In Paramus.
Yeah.
Right. No, Paramus, this area is known to have power lines.
Yeah.
Everything's hung up above.
Everywhere.
You get into a little bit of an upper echelon area, and yes, the transformers and the underground electric and your gas, obviously, but your data lines, okay, their files lines are all run underground.
It's a lot of money to put them underground.
And it also costs a lot of money if you hit them too.
Yes, true.
Which we don't do.
So you like I said, you did a great presentation at our association meeting, and you actually do trenchless
Water and sewer.
Water and sewer.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
What do you mean
outside-
trenchless? What is that?
Oh,
What do you mean
you
by
gotta-
trenchless?
Yeah, so trenchless
Give
is
them the rundown.
trenchless effectively. Well, first of all, nothing's purely trenchless, right? We have a product that we offer. It's a reline product, okay, and it's basically a 4-part epoxy resin that we utilize with a liner, okay, that gets emulsified and then gets put into a sewer line that can accept it. And what I mean by accept it is, you don't want to line a pipe that has a belly or obviously a break or some type of obstruction that you won't be able to get the liner into, right? The liner will, the epoxy will impregnate itself within the liner and then basically adhere to the side walls of the pipe. So as long as the pipe has good pitch from the house to the main or wherever you're trying to line, and it could flow, all you're doing is effectively extending the life expectancy of that sewer line.
So it's more for maintenance than it is for, like, if you have, let's say you have a cracked sewer line, would you use it for a cracked sewer line, or would
Yes.
you use it just for maintenance?
As long as you can get the liner through the pipe,
Okay.
then you can implement it.
All right.
People in this area, you have clay, you have cast iron. I mean, obviously, when you have clay, you have a lot of joint issues, a lot of shifting issues, right?
Yeah.
And you have roots that grow in. Those roots can be cleaned. The joints that are separate, they offset to a degree.
Yeah.
Right. But you can get the liner through it, and it'll effectively seal it up, right? And then you have a jointless system from inside the house to the main, and it's a pretty good system. It doesn't involve
Wait.
opening a road or.
It doesn't
anything
involve
like that.
opening the road. You have to
No.
to come in from somewhere. Where do you come in from? Because
From the clean out, either inside the house if the clean out is accessible, if it's a good access point. Remember, you have to get something to put the liner in through, or you create access. So whether that be access inside, or you create access outside the home, where you actually have to excavate. Sometimes you have to excavate, get down to the pipe, create a clean out access or an access point, and shoot it in from there.
Do you do the banging out of the old one and dropping the new one in underneath the ground?
Like the pipe bursting one.
pipe
and all that?
bursting?
We don't do any of that. No,
Okay.
I don't do pipe bursting. The other trenchless option that we have in terms of underground would be water services, and we're very good with that as well. So we have line molding and line pulling. And line pulling is a couple of different ways you can do that as well.
I gotcha.
But we do a lot of water services in New Jersey that way, and I would say I can't remember the last time we had the trench one.
Dude, I'm telling you, this is a
What-
great. Go ahead.
I'm curious about the water lines. What do you do? Is it
Yeah.
the same epoxy resin? Because it's gotta be.
No.
Totally different.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of a fallacy. People think that you put a line in through the existing pipe. You can't do that. In New Jersey, you have very common types of lines. You have obviously an old copper line, right? 3/4 inch or 1 inch, which is
Yeah.
going to fail at some point. You have
Right.
a galvanized service, and you're going to have your lead services. And your lead services, obviously, with the DEP things that are coming out. They're being replaced. We're very heavily involved with that process. But with the molding, that's one of the trenchless options we utilize. It's an apparatus that effectively creates a 2-inch cavity underneath the ground. Okay, so you're drilling a hole in the foundation wall, okay, and you're sending this piece of equipment through, and it propels itself underneath the ground.
That's crazy.
Now, it's not going to break through rock. Like, this is not something that's like, you're going to be able to get through anything and everything. It doesn't work that way. It just effectively creates this cavity under the ground, 2-inch. And generally, if it's a standard replacement, you're pulling a 3/4 inch copper line behind it. And you're shooting this to a trench or a pit that's in the lawn.
Yeah.
So we plot this out. The guys that we have on staff are very well trained with it. They went to some training for it. We've been implementing it on site. They're getting on site training. They know what they're doing. It doesn't take a mathematician to do this. It
Right.
just takes a little bit of engineering.
Yeah.
Right. And let this thing do its thing. And plus, the tools that we have, the equipment we have, is all German engineered. It's expensive.
Yeah.
But it lasts and it works. It's pneumatic.
Yeah.
So when you shoot this into the first pit, you pull it through, and then you have to obviously have an excavated pit by the valve.
Right. Right.
What's a normal frontage in Bergen County? 40 feet?
Right. Right. Yeah.
50 feet? So you're shooting a 25-foot shot, maybe a 25-foot shot. And you're pulling the line from the basement into the first and into the second.
I gotta come see it one
Yeah,
time.
come check it
It's
out.
unbelievable.
It is
Sounds unbelievable.
extremely cool.
Yeah.
The liner is very satisfying.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
I've
I gotta
seen
pull up
videos
videos.
on
It's
TikTok.
very, very satisfying. The way that liner
Of the
pumps
sewer
through with
liner.
the epoxy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hugest thing is you're saving all the landscape that's right outside the porch, right outside in front of the house.
Yeah.
You're saving all that when you're able to do that.
It's not an end-all be-all solution. Remember,
right?
It's not an end-all be-all.
I'm trying to sell you here, Dan.
It can't be implemented in every situation. We try to appeal to the clients that we have and give them the right solution. You know.
So how would you determine that? I mean, other than let's say a belly or a couple crack. I mean, does it not work in certain instances where maybe the line is clear all the way through and they just want to reline their pipes?
Max, that's a very good point. Some people, some people they have a clear line. They might have experienced a backup due to maybe a little bit of root intrusion, and maybe something got hung up on the stuff trying to flow through. Mm-hmm. They experienced something, and you camera inspect it. You send a camera down.
Yeah.
You locate. You inspect. You check the ailments, and then you see if it's a good candidate.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much how you do it.
How what sets you apart? Because there are several companies that do this. What sets you apart from them?
The transparency. So total transparency. First of all, we're one of the only companies that will just come out and camera something for free.
Wow.
Will you really?
That's
Absolutely.
huge.
Holy smokes, that's huge.
It's huge. Because we need to provide our clients with the information so they can make an informed decision. You know, when we're called in, generally speaking, it's after somebody's come in and either snaked it, done some type of maintenance, either couldn't get the problem solved or they've been hit with X amount of charges, and they're calling us to say, look, we need a professional opinion. So we're coming out there and we're scoping it for them. We're going to provide them with the proper solution, and whatever that may be, whether it's a sewer line or a water service or whatever.
That's an unbelievable selling point.
Yeah. That's what we're built on. That's what separates us. You know, we have an awesome reputation. We intend to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you guys have the presentation you put forward. I got to borrow your drone guy, first of all. I have nothing to drone, but
he's a good dude.
I mean, what can we drone?
Yeah.
For like social media view.
Maybe like
just like over the trucks, maybe?
Finished pool products, because we're doing heaters now for pools.
Yeah, we got into pools lately.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually, before I started plumbing, I built luxury high-end swimming pools. I was the contractor for that.
Really?
Gunite, in
Who'd
ground.
you work for? Or was you by yourself? No.
No, I worked for somebody for 15 years up in Mawa.
Okay.
And he's got a great reputation, still does. They've been in business for 100 years. They were putting in pools 100 years ago. One of the few companies that did that.
Gunite, man, it's so expensive though.
Oh yeah,
stuff. Do
it
people
sure
still
is.
put in gunite
oh my
pools
God,
nowadays?
yes. Look at the area we're in.
Yeah, but I'm hearing a lot
And it's
about these.
getting
I'm
more
hearing
and
a
more
lot about these fiberglass.
Yes, okay,
drop-ins
fiberglass
now.
is taking over.
They're bringing these molds.
Yep.
They're dropping them in.
Yep.
They're done in 3 days. We had a guy up the street from me. I couldn't believe it. They did an excavation. The landscaper was there. They had a hole in the ground. I passed by the house every day because it's on my way home from work. And inside of 3 days, this pool was in. There was a little retaining wall, maybe about a foot and a half high around it, stone and everything.
Yeah.
They were swimming in it by the next week.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
It is true.
Well,
they don't
if it's
last
meant
as
to-
long,
yeah,
though.
exactly.
They don't last as long. I mean, gunite, you're in there forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you redo the plaster. Listen, a pool in general is a luxury item. It's a luxury item.
He told me it's $100 an hour to heat a regular size
About
swimming pool.
$100 an hour. Yeah, to heat a swimming
To
pool.
heat a swimming pool. I said, who's
it's a
doing it?
400,000 BTU heater.
Yes.
Running and running and running, and you're only getting 1 to
never-
1.5 degrees an hour.
Let me ask you this: gas. What type of gas capacity you running to the heater? 3/4 inch line, 1 inch line.
1 inch at the minimum.
Yeah, but they
No,
have
so
to have a decent size
inch and a
service
quarter.
coming in.
Inch and a quarter. A lot of people have to upgrade their meter.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
She's putting in a very small heater.
Yeah, that's
In a
true.
very
She's
small.
got a
This
very
lady,
small.
this lady, we just did a gas line for. We'll definitely get back to Brute. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I was into. We were thinking about getting the pools. I was like, now I'm learning. Now.
Yeah,
Listen, if you're
depends
going
on
to
the-
use it, it's
Yeah.
worth it. But
Yeah.
here's the problem. This is what I notice about most of the customers I build pools for. They get it. The kids are young. In 4 or 5 years, the kids don't even use it anymore. I would use it
sits and
all the
rots.
time. But
Yeah,
that's
how
that's
often?
the issue.
Like we have, me and my wife discuss this a lot. We're in dog days. It's not summer, end of July, early August, and it's like how many weeks are we really getting clipped where it's 95,
sweltering. Yeah.
Not. I mean, if you really think about it,
go down
not
the shore.
many, not many. But sometimes, yeah, you have those months where it's just one
Brutal.
week after the
Yes.
next, and it's just like, dude.
I want a pool.
It's like a boat. It's like having a boat. You
Yeah.
want to be the friend of the guy with the boat, not the
Yeah.
guy who has the boat.
Exactly. There you go. You just got to find a
Same
buddy.
thing with the pool. My
Do you have
neighbors.
kids?
I have kids.
Young?
Yes,
They got to be. You're a young guy.
relatively, yes.
You're young. I'd take it in a heartbeat. I go back 4 years in a heartbeat.
Would you?
100%.
I mean, Phil, we're 4 years apart.
Yeah, that is true. That's a big jump. I go back to his age in a heartbeat. 30?
Nah,
30 years old.
I've always wanted to be old. I've just been waiting to be old.
Talk some sense into
I want
this.
to be old. I want to be able to sit in a chair and get off my lawn type.
You do that anyway.
I know.
He's been old since birth.
You mean like a grumpy old guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm a grumpy.
He's a grumpy young
I'm a
guy
grumpy
now.
young man, and I can't wait to be a grumpy old man.
So let me ask you some. Details about the work you do, because, like I said, this is a great area because it's an old area.
Yeah.
So out in Ohio, my family's out in Ohio. Most of the houses are not old. It's not like they're in rural Ohio. There's some farmhouses that have been there forever, but like a lot of like the building has happened 60s and up, 60s, 70s and up.
Right.
So they don't have the lead lines, the old galvanized stuff. It's mostly copper, PVC, some cast and stuff like that. We have a lot of 100-year-old homes, 100-year-old towns. So this is a great area to do what you're doing. What are the perks of using you guys? Because I remember the presentation you did at the association. You talked a lot about putting the landscaping back, taking care of a lot of that. What aspect do you deal with if you do have to trench?
Well, I think the perks of using us is our customer service and how we are with our clients and our transparency. You know, I showed you guys a copy of that proposal.
Yes.
Okay. If you notice on that proposal, everything is spelled out. It's detailed. Okay. It's not just, look, a handwritten thing.
Right.
I'm going to remove and replace your sewer line. I'm going to do this and that. And then you give it to the customer and it's just like, well, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
What am I getting?
Right.
This is what you're getting. You get the value up front. You get the value you can see. And then you're going to get the value when the guys come and actually work in your property. Look, when you do an excavation, it's a very invasive process.
Yeah.
We try to be as transparent as we can with people to set the expectation of what's going to be removed, whether it be landscaping, sidewalk, walkway, if necessary. Look, at all costs, we do our best to try to avoid these things. If we have to do a sewer line for somebody and we have to reroute it, or we have to do something creative to avoid restoration costs or high infrastructure costs, we do that. We take those steps. We try to engineer it in a way that's going to save the most money,
Yeah.
and obviously provide them with the best overall solution. You know, the trenchless stuff is great, but again, it's like I said, it's not an end-all be-all. The water stuff is easier. It's easier
Because it's smaller and it's flexible. So Dan, Brute Contracting, we were talking before we started recording. 2012 opened
yes,
when the Mayans said the world was supposed to end.
dude.
What a year to decide to start a business.
Oh, it was crazy.
So you're just not just going to listen to the Mayans then, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
A lot of people didn't, unfortunately for the Mayans. You opened it with a buddy of yours named Yuri,
Yes.
and you've known him for how long?
I've known Yuri since over 20 years now.
How'd you guys get hooked up?
So it's a good question. We actually worked together first, which I think is very important, especially for our relationship. He wasn't just a friend of mine from a childhood.
Right.
I had a good working relationship. He was actually brought into a company that I was working for when I was in my teens and early 20s. Family-owned business, very well-run business. And Yuri came in, and we developed a good working relationship first. We developed a lot of respect for each other and what we had going on. And then, look, like you said, Phil, you mentioned it, the economy kind of took a dive. But we were working with each other for about five or 6 years, I believe, at that time. And then we decided to just kind of branch off and just do our own thing.
Yeah.
And, I had a lot of faith and trust in him and vice versa.
Listen, I hear horror stories about going into business with friends, and you do have a situation where you were working partners.
Yes.
So it's kind of different than just a friend.
Yes.
But I have heard horror stories.
Yes.
Would you advise it? Would you advise against it? I mean, having a business partner in general.
I think having a business partner is great as long as you two align in your thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to tell me, hey, listen, would you open up a business with a buddy you went to college with that you went and hung out with and
Yeah, it's
you know
different.
his tendencies, and maybe he's not the most responsible person at the end of the day, and I would say no.
Just
Yeah.
because
I
you
would
like
say-
hanging out with somebody doesn't mean it's going to make a good business partner.
Precisely.
Yes.
I don't think that's a complete 180 of what Yuri and I.
Yeah.
We have very similar backgrounds in terms of family, very similar morals and values. It was pretty clear in the beginning how we were going to set things up, and I think with the working relationship, we ended up we maintained it.
You have a similar drive
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, that
Yeah, I
would
wouldn't
definitely be
change it.
important. You had mentioned you had seen Big Brian's podcast.
I did. I
And-
like Brian's podcast.
Yeah, everyone. Listen, Brian's a very likable guy.
Yeah.
everyone who meets Brian loves Brian.
Yeah, he sounds like a great guy.
But Vinny actually asked it. He said, "Would you go into business with one of your buddies?" And Brian immediately was like,
Oh, yeah.
"No, absolutely
Well,
not."
Yeah.
But you should meet Brian's
But
buddies.
you should meet Brian's buddies, and you should meet the people Brian, has worked with and stuff like that. So he's like, it's not.
I will say this, guys. Yuri, my partner, has become a very close friend of mine. He's almost family now. I can't. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's how it goes. If you're going to
Yeah.
have that type of partner, you're going to be in it on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis.
So you see that person more than you see your own family.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, yeah.
We talk
Yeah.
about it all the time. You become like family. I mean,
do.
we've been working together. It's just been the two of us for like 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you said you have other employees, do you not?
Well, just now, just
Literally,
recently.
literally 1
When you
month.
say
in.
just what?
a month old.
Less than a month.
Less than a month,
That's why you were
realistically,
saying
yeah.
that they're young.
It's like-
Literally less than a month.
They're young, and it makes all the difference in the world. It really does. You forget a screwdriver, just the trip back to the truck is like
Yeah. But
like
now you got a guy to go
deflating,
run.
And now I can just go,
Yeah.
Yes.
like what he did to me for 8 years.
Yeah.
Go.
8
Yeah.
years, just the two of us.
It's hard.
It is
You
hard.
know?
No, guys, it's hard. The employees are hard.
Yeah.
It's one of our biggest things,
Do you,
I know.
You
Yeah.
find it hard keeping employees, or is it?
We are, I would say now, we finally feel we have a good core of guys.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite guy that you've hired? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, how many guys do you have?
We have 12 in the field.
Oh wow, that's a big crew.
Yeah, no, 10 in the field. Excuse me, I think it's 10 in the field. 3 in the office, including myself. And Yuri
Manages.
floater.
he's managing operations.
Yeah.
My brother actually, both of my brothers actually work for me. One is a project manager. He's doing very well in the office, helping out with those things. And my other brother is more of like a supervisor type in the field, making sure the guys are doing their thing. And he's excellent.
How many trucks?
Quite a few. 3 utility trucks, couple of dump trucks. We have a couple of pickups just for miscellaneous stuff.
Dude, what's your space like? How much space you got it for?
You
Like
gotta
a
have
shop in a
space.
yard?
Yeah, you got to have a yard. We have a yard in Garfield. We got fortunate with that. We got a warehouse. We have storage. We have some bays that we store our
Wow.
materials. You got to have your aggregates. You got to have your sand, your stone. You got to have all these things.
Yeah, I mean, you're storing a lot of stock.
a lot of stuff.
This shop actually was filled with shells when I got here. It was just my uncle when I got here.
I remember you telling me.
Yeah, I cleared it out, and you'll see. I'll show you the truck before we go. But now we have.
Whoa! We
What?
cleared it out.
Okay, we cleared it
This
out.
was a lot of work.
I said, you know what? I don't want to bury, and it's different. We're in different industries, even though they intertwine.
They do.
The way we operate is very different. So I try to keep minimal in the shop and on the trucks, because if it's on the trucks, it'll get sold,
Yeah, that's right.
and it won't just collect dust.
That's right.
So that's kind of my goal, but we still need a space. We need a space in that
You need a
yard.
space to be able to park trucks. When the weather's no good, you can still come and do inventory on trucks, clean
Yeah.
stuff.
I think it depends on how you operate as a business, right? If you're a plumber that's more service based, you're gonna keep a lot of stuff in the
Yeah.
truck. You're gonna have it right
You're right.
away. You're gonna be able to service the client.
Yeah.
But if you're a contractor that does what? A lot of renovation
A lot
work,
of
a lot
renovations.
of roughing work, a lot of new construction work, well then, yeah, you'll have stuff on the truck. but you're going to be getting stuff shipped to the site.
Exactly.
You're going to have a lot of some waste. You're going to dispose of that, but then you might, okay, well, we got all this extra stuff. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
And then,
then you stockpile it. Then it goes into bins and shelves and this and that. And it's just like, wait a second. We have all this stuff. Now we're just renting a space to hold stuff.
Becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
I just, listen, if we weren't getting slaughtered with workman's comp insurance and business taxes, maybe we can grow a little bit and find a spot.
Man, this year is definitely a huge increase. Huge increase.
It doesn't even matter if you have a good credit score anymore.
No, it doesn't.
They just gouge you to death. We talked about this off camera. We got our workman's comp insurance for this year.
Yeah.
And my head nearly exploded.
Yeah.
We don't even use it. We haven't never had any years ago. I fell through a ceiling once. Oh. But this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. The statute of limitations has run out on that by now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We don't even use the insurance anymore.
Yeah.
And they're just like, out.
For guys like us, look, we have a pretty big GL policy, right? You have to.
A what policy?
A GL policy, a general liability policy, right? And workman's comp as well, of course. Workman's comp is designated by New Jersey in the class codes, how they do that. But the GL, it's got to be stout. You're going to be doing some decent sized work. You got to have a good GL, but it's very expensive.
I know.
I'll tell you, it is something where
which is why people shouldn't complain about the prices. I don't know how your prices are, but people can't complain about the prices, especially in these types of businesses where the liability is so high.
I think they have to have an understanding, though, man.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's
you have to give them an understanding, especially with guys like us. Like, all right, what are you doing? You're putting a water line. You're putting a sewer line. Okay, what are you really doing? Well, John, we're doing it. We're doing this. We're excavating. This is going to be needed a shoring box. We might be in the road on this job. You have any idea the liabilities of working within a road?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I had no idea. Well, there's a gas main. There's a water main. There's electric. There's a duct bank we have to be careful of.
For the most part, people will catch on when you explain it like that.
You have to be transparent and explain it. You have to let them know. And then once they have an understanding, like, okay, you know what, maybe I should get a contract that has the right insurance.
Yeah.
And they start to think about it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, do you run into that, like in your field where people are doing this kind of work with no insurance?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Zero insurance?
Oh yeah, we've been a part of projects where guys went to go do road openings or work that they shouldn't be doing, and they get shut down
with no insurance.
With no insurance.
That is insane.
It will shut them down. They'll try to get work done. They're in over their head. We're getting calls to obviously either finish the work or stuff like that.
Fix whatever they broke.
Correct.
People got balls. You have to have balls to start doing road work or run a water line.
Look how many trucks we see with no commercial plates, no markings on the van.
I'm just saying, something like
construction material.
It's different. It's different. One thing when an unlicensed person puts in a toilet or a faucet versus when an unlicensed
I disagree.
person puts in does work in the street.
Yeah.
Or tries to bust through a water line or a sewer line. That's crazy.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That is crazy. If we I don't even touch the street key, the street shut off.
Yeah.
Because if you screw it up, what is it, $10,000 fine?
Oh,
15 now, I think.
It could be more.
Yeah.
It could be more. It depends on where you're working, number one. Number two, you don't know what that valve is composed of. You don't know if it's old brass valve that's corroded. Let's say you go to shut it off and you break it. Well, what happens? Well, the line could leak. Mm-hmm. You cause a leak. Water company comes out for whatever water department is in that area or whatever town comes out.
Yeah.
And then you're liable.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, I learned early on. It took actually, I'm going to say it took a solid year. Let's go back to pricing real quick. It took a solid year to 2 years where when I first started riding with my uncle and he was teaching me the ropes and he was showing me pricing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're going to charge this customer that much. And then I started to learn. And then I had to deal with the customer and they would say, oh, this is ridiculous. And I started to second guess myself. And then I sat down and learned the numbers and laid my business out and put everything on Excel.
It was when he sat down like this. And then that's what the upcharge is. When your back starts to hurt and your knees start to hurt.
And then you realize, and now someone says something, I have a script ready to go. I'm like, listen. I'm not going to ride around North Jersey, go pick you up toilets for no upcharge. I got to pay these guys. I got to pay the person you called. Right. I got to put gas in the truck to get to you. That truck needs insurance. It needs registration. I got a payment on it. I got to pay. I got a
tirade incoming.
Yeah, I can't. I will go on a tirade. I'm at this. I'm to the point where I can now defend my prices just fine because I know we're like mid-high.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mid-low. I don't want to be the highest, obviously.
Right.
We're priced out by those private equity firms. I want to be nice in the middle, maybe a little bit higher, but we offer great warranty.
Right.
We're clean when we come up.
Right.
My guys wear booties. They're polite. They're not going to break your stuff. They're not going to rummage through your jewelry while they're working in your master bed. Like, listen, I've had that. I've worked at companies where dudes have been fired because they got caught on camera just rummaging and stealing from customers.
Right.
Good companies, So you gotta. That costs money.
Phil, very much the same for me.
Yeah.
When we started and when we pivoted into doing a lot of this work, you have to learn your market, of course, right? And you have to learn what to charge. And I think what we did was very similar was, okay, what are our costs? Or where are our costs? Obviously, insurance is a huge cost, but you always have your labor, you have your material, you have your overhead, you have your trucks, you have your equipment, you have your fuel. But what you just said in terms of being mid to high, I would say we're probably in the mid to high range too. Definitely not the highest,
Right.
but we're definitely not the cheapest.
Yeah.
All our guys are laced up with these vests, right?
That costs money.
That costs money. Hard hats on every job. I don't care if I'm working behind a curb or in the street. PPE, proper boots. No one's coming into the job on sneakers, right?
Right.
And
Shut up. I wore sneakers today.
well, you can wear sneakers.
I can't actually.
You guys can, walk into someone's house without having a pair of boots on is fine.
Yeah, you're right.
But you got to understand, what are my guys doing?
Oh, yeah.
We're on asphalt. We're in dirt. We're jumping in a hole.
They're gonna lose their toes.
Come on, man.
They're gonna lose
You
their
got
toes,
jumping
yeah.
jacks. You smack one of those on a soft
Right,
sneaker,
right.
you're breaking a toe.
Yes.
The point I make is we're going to present a professional appearance. My guys are, again, dressed clean too. Yeah, they might be in the trenches. They may be getting dirty by the end of the day. But those vests are clean, they're washed, and they're presenting a professional appearance. Not only that, but they act professionally as well. And all this stuff goes into your price.
Absolutely.
Right?
It has to.
They're not hiring a landscaper to go do a road opening for someone's broken sewer line on a county road. You're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
I tell people too, like we have to live in this area too. It's an expensive area to live.
It is.
I can't import dudes from West Virginia.
Right.
Like we have to live here too. I need a
totally
roof
agree.
over my head. I
Totally
got to pay
agree.
my guys to live in this area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have the script ready to go. And we talk about it on the podcast all the time. I have no problem doing that because I'm confident in the product we put out.
Agreed.
We have a 5-star rating on Google, except one. She didn't even use us. She didn't like my estimate, so she gave me a 1 star. It's like, all right, you didn't even use me. But
Did you respond back?
I responded. I'll show it to you.
You got to respond
I did
back.
absolutely.
I'm actually going to look it up. I'm going to read it.
Yeah, you gotta read it, 'cause
I will definitely.
I did a great
always like
response.
to read the responses
Yes,
from
me
the
too.
owner to see how either diplomatic they are, or if they
Or
got
bitter.
If they got bitter and emotional, I want to see. Well, let me see how. Let me see how this guy responded here. Maybe
Yes.
I could take a pointer or two.
100%. Like I'm ready to go. I know my numbers like the back of my hand, so we got ammo.
Yeah.
And I teach my guys that.
Yeah, good.
You know.
Should.
So I'm transparent with the customer, but I'm also transparent with my employees.
You should be.
This guy knows the ins and outs, except for certain things that
I know.
he knows. We've been together for 8 years. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's good.
So you did some college. So our show really
You did
gears-
some college.
You did no. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a weird,
Did you
strange
go to
transition.
college?
That was a strange transition. Maybe I'll throw something in the video. We talked when I first pitched this coming on the show to you. I told you we kind of gear this show toward younger guys.
Yeah.
Coming out of high school, not knowing what to do, go out to work for a little bit, go out and work in the trades. But you got a degree.
Yeah, I went to college. Yeah,
Listen, I'm not going to crap on you. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. Look, I did the college thing. Listen, I went to.
You look like a college boy.
I went to college. I got my degree at MSU. I got my bachelor's in business management and marketing. But I got it during the economic downturn, and I was already in construction at that time. It was 2008, 2009. And I kind of knew I wasn't going to use it just due to the finance, due to the way that look, I remember colleagues of mine coming out of college, moving right back home for the next 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
No job for the first 2, I already had a job. I was working.
Oh, wow.
I was learning at that time. I was doing well. And when things slowed down with that company, I just said, okay, I can do this. I never actually technically used a degree. I never got a job with my degree.
But it came in handy. How did it come in handy?
I think it came in handy a little bit. I think some of the college stuff, that the knowledge is good to have. I do. I think, especially from a business acumen standpoint.
Yeah.
But I think, but also, you know, does it translate to real world? And how much does it really translate? Can we really say?
Yeah. There's
a certain percentage that it does. But I think experience is really the only thing that's really
absolutely.
going to.
Yeah. That's it.
I can't learn from a book. I can't. I got to be in the field.
Yeah.
I got to experience. I got to learn it that way.
Look, there's some experiments, but they make you do, and you know, you have to work with people and problem solve. You know, especially in the last year or two. That type of stuff is a little bit more tangible. It's relatable. All the book stuff, you know, mathematics, the statistics, all that stuff. How relatable is it?
Certain fields that need it. I also think it's good for building relationships. I mean, I don't know how many relationships you kept from college, but I think people also develop certain relationships in college.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can network a little bit, and you keep people that, but you know, everyone kind of takes their own path.
Right.
You know? I was more. Look, I'll be honest. I stayed more to myself.
Yeah.
Stayed in my lane. I
Really?
worked. Yeah, I stayed. I worked. I put myself through college. I worked, and then I was going to college at night.
That's
partier.
not common either.
Yeah.
To work and then go to college at night.
Yeah.
Most people don't do that.
I didn't stay at MSU. I was working. I was working for that company since I was like 17, 18, and I just stayed working.
Wow.
Yeah. It's always been something I've always done.
Let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We've been talking for quite a while. Guys, we're here with Dan Radici from Brute Contracting again at 201-447-0721.
That's correct.
Right? BruteContracting.com. I'll throw all that up on the bottom of the screen.
Awesome.
I have cool little stickers that I pop up. I'm getting good at this editing.
You are
thing.
getting very good.
Dan, listen, thanks for being here. Folks, we will be right back with Dan Radici.
Call Quartz Plumbing and Heating. Top-rated plumbers in North Jersey for over 60 years. And don't forget to keep treats for Frankie on hand. They'll help to subdue her carnal, animalistic nature.
Jigsaw PMR Property Maintenance Restoration in Oradell, New Jersey. Ready to tackle the toughest disasters affecting your home or business. With state-of-the-art equipment and years of experience, our responsive staff will get you back home quicker than anyone else. Check us out at jigsawpmr.com and follow our cleanup journey on Instagram and Facebook. Give us a call at 201-425-4855. Jigsaw PMR, restoring peace of mind.
Welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast, the Blue Collar Tradesman Show, where we talk about small business and entrepreneurship, the Everyman's Podcast. I'm here with Max, as always, and Dan Radici of Brute Contracting, BruteContracting.com, 201-447-0721. Dan, thanks for the sweet information on the first side. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, man.
This is a whole, our industries definitely intertwine. They're very different, but they intertwine because we're running water, we're running sewer.
Right.
And there's been for the very long time one dude in this area that just picks up everything. We need options. First of all, I can't get that guy anymore.
Listen, it's better for the customer. It's better for the customer and it's better for us.
Yeah.
It is. It creates fair pricing system.
Yes.
All right. Not just for us, but for the customers.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it levels you out. It makes you, price fairly.
There's a lot of work out there.
And there's enough work.
yeah.
There's enough work for everybody.
There's enough work.
We talk about it all the time.
enough work.
I said it before, my brother does plumbing out in Ohio. And the plumbers out there, they see each other and they don't talk to each other. They don't build relationships because there's not a lot of work. It's rural Ohio. He's driving an hour to a job. Out here,
It's amazing.
I know every plumber in the area. They've been on the podcast. We talk, we banter, we share stories, we share tips. There's too much work. There's so much work, and it's getting even worse because plumbers are getting less and less.
Absolutely.
What's the stat, Max?
For every 7 plumbers that leaves the trade, only 1 takes his place.
That makes sense.
And in a state of 9 point something million people, we only have 5,000 licensed plumbers in the entire state.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And then you have also, you have to think that that's not even residential plumbers. You have
Right.
a lot of commercial plumbing. So
Yep.
that those licenses are going to, commercial plumbers who do that kind of work. So 5,000 for a state of 9 point something million people.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's definitely a problem. Phil, you were talking about in the first segment how it, trying to engage the younger demographic to get into the trades.
Yep.
Where the younger demographic, as you know, nowadays are getting into the tech.
Yes.
They're getting into computer sciences. They're getting into, sitting behind a desk, which is, look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Okay, nothing against that. You got the smart guys that can do that. You can make a lot of money.
yeah,
But
But it's getting overloaded.
yeah, so what's going to happen in tech in 10 years, 15 years? If it doesn't start to turn the other way and go in the other direction.
Listen, we
Sheetrock
have
robots.
Yeah.
It was like our first episode, no?
That was our second episode.
Second
Sheetrock
episode. Where
robots.
I saw a video, of a robot putting up sheetrock.
No
Because
way.
I said, said, you're not going to have a robot come into your house and let's say, do your plumbing, or let's say they do create a robot that does plumbing, because they probably have, or they probably can create something, or a robot that does, electrical work or HVAC work. You're not going to have a robot come into your house to do it. And
You
then
can't troubleshoot
I
this
saw
stuff
a
with a
video on
robot.
Twitter the next day, my feed.
Oh, yeah.
A robot that was putting up sheetrock, leveling it out.
You probably heard what you were saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Always.
That's what I figured.
It's funny.
You say something, I
You
say
say something,
yeah.
and something comes up in his feed. That's insane.
It is insane. All of it's insane. AI is insane.
It is insane.
It's getting-
no. We've redundancy with this insane, but
Yes.
it is
It is
insane. You really think about what it can do, what it is doing. It's
I
amazing.
use insane. I use AI for a lot of this. AI makes all my clips. I don't sit
Artificial
there and
insanity.
pick clips.
Okay.
I load up the video. It generates me clips.
Oh, that's
It rates it on how much people are talking about it, how trending it is. I use AI to write the description. I used AI to write my business plan, my employee handbook, everything, dude. It's unbelievable. And I haven't even barely tapped into what AI can offer.
I agree. It's one of those things that's just like it's just scratching the surface,
Yeah.
right? We know it.
So Dan, let me ask you, how do I get a nice flat belly? Like when you work a lot, I work a lot.
I'm just maintaining what you see. I'm trying to at least.
maintaining.
Dad bod is creeping in. It's very slowly, and I'm just trying to keep it away as much as I possibly
every other
can.
guest
Trust me.
we've had to tell to sit up straight,
Yeah.
so because otherwise it makes you look fat.
Makes you look chubbier.
Superman over here
Yeah,
can
come
sit
on.
however.
It's like, Dan, come on, slouch a little bit, will you?
Just do like
For
this.
Christ's sake.
Thank you for the compliment. I just listen. It's diligence. It's what it is. It's discipline. I kind of eat the same every day. I don't really change that too much.
That's good.
You work out in the morning or in the evening?
But right now in the evening.
All right.
Yeah, in the evening. And if it's even feasible, Max, I'm not even trying to BS you. It's been tough lately, but my wife's actually a good proponent. She's a good cook and she helps.
Is she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's great.
You got a wife that cooks, huh?
I got a wife that cooks.
That is
man.
rare.
I got a wife that cooks. She's unbelievable.
Shout out to Mrs. Radici.
Yeah, shout out to
way
Mrs.
to go.
Radici is right, and the other Mrs. Radici. Yeah,
The older one.
the older one.
Yeah.
She's good too.
My mom's a baker. That's why. Yeah, she's a big baker. And my parents. So my mom was born and raised in Ohio. My dad was born and raised in Elizabeth.
Okay.
Two different worlds coming together.
Yes, definitely.
When my mom they got married out in Ohio. My dad brought her out a year later. I was born, and my dad is from a huge family, very aggressive, very loud, very. Yeah, he knows my whole family. Very New Jersey, and my mom was culture shocked. She came home, and they moved in with my grandparents while half the family still living there. She bakes this beautiful apple pie one day. She puts it on the table. She comes back 20 minutes later. It's just destroyed.
Of course.
Destroyed. And she said, she tells a story, and she sat down in the chair and she cried. She goes, what decision have I made in my life? So she's a baker. Great cook, though. But, yeah, Mama Quartz. She's working for us now. I hired my mom this month.
Okay.
That's Nancy, my
Got it.
aunt.
Got it.
So my aunt works for us.
Got it.
She does the customer service, all that stuff. My mom now does all the books.
Yeah, that's
So it's
good.
all in the family. I've known this guy since he was in pull-ups 2 years
I
ago.
mean, I just tell people we're cousins because they always ask anyway.
They
"Are
think
you
we
re-"
look alike.
They think we look alike, and I'm
Like,
like,
you guys look alike.
it's a
You
little
guys
bit-
brother? I don't.
It's a little bit insulting. All right, first of all, when they ask for brothers, I'm like, how does that work? What is this, twins? That one gets all the height, the other one is short? It's like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
One gets all the height, the other gets all the anger.
Yeah.
Exactly. How did you get the name?
Yeah.
Brute
Yeah,
is
how'd you get Brute?
Brute is Boosie, which is Yuri's last name. Radici, which is obviously mine. And then the U is United. And then the TE we just kind of threw on there. And we, because
Well, you can say it's United.
United,
it's just an abbreviation
Teamwork,
of-
excellence.
Yeah.
Something like something.
Is that
to
really how
effect.
you went with your last names and that's why you came up
I
with
swear
it?
to God. Yeah.
That's a great name for the industry you're in.
Brute, yeah. Bang, right in the truck.
Exactly.
It's Brute. Call Brute.
Yeah.
Call him up. You got a problem? Call
Easy,
Brute.
simple. I heard somewhere that one syllable words for like companies or for businesses or for products, whatever
Yeah.
it is, it clicks with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot easier than if you had to.
Brute's great. Lettering's great. Let's get into the marketing and branding. How do you guys approach that? Since 2012, that's 13 years now.
Yeah.
How's that evolved?
Oh, in the beginning was all word of mouth. Just do a great job, refer us.
Yeah.
That's how it was. It stayed that way for years, maybe 5, I would say 6 years. And then as we got more into, then the Facebook stuff started coming up. We started doing the Instagram stuff early on with, promoting ourselves and the projects we were doing. And then obviously it evolved. Right?
Yeah.
We started getting into this. And then we've been in this for so long that even this has evolved. So you have your basic marketing, like your Google marketing stuff, which everybody does, right?
Do you advertise on Google?
I used to.
Yeah.
I think it's expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's expensive, and I don't know if it yields necessarily
Yeah.
high results.
Right.
Right. I think the results that do come in are you don't have a great return on investment with our industry, so to speak. With other industries, it might be different.
To be honest, I hear the same thing from pretty much any other industry.
Yeah. It's a lot of riffraff with the calls.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
calling. It's, they're probing. They're asking like errant questions. It's not necessarily something specific. Hey, I need this.
Yeah.
I need this. So I don't do too much Google advertising. The Instagram stuff, the Facebook stuff has been good as you see
Yep.
the type of stuff that we do. We put some media together. We chop it up, make it very professional. Do the drone footage. We want people to see what we do.
Yeah.
It's very hard for people to have a tangible sense of what a sewer line is, what a water line is.
Yep.
Most people, they pay for the product, of course, but after it's covered up, what do you really see?
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
know?
It's gone.
My infrastructure's upgraded.
Yeah.
That's what I paid for.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are cool with that, but for other clients, how does this work? Well, what do they do? What kind of equipment do they have? What kind of trucks? What does it
Yep.
really look like? And we like to show it.
I will say the videos
Yeah.
lately of sewer lining for whatever reason and the equipment
Yeah.
for all of that stuff.
It's interesting.
It's huge.
They're getting huge
It's
views.
getting very popular on
Yeah.
TikTok and
Nobody cares about us
Twitter.
putting in a water heater.
Nobody cares.
But that liner stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool.
I see it everywhere.
Someone posts that and the views blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
yeah.
take your little Brute logo, put it in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Have
it.
the-
Just
you
splash
should have
that.
the Brute logo popping out when the blue epoxy pops out of the end of the sewer.
Yeah, get on that.
Let's see if we can copyright that one.
Do you have a social media guy? Or are you taking care of this yourself?
We're kind of in between now, but yes, I have hired some people, some guys that come in and they take care of it. I was doing it for some time. It's just too much to do.
Oh, my God.
It's too
You're not
much
kidding.
to do, man. You know the deal, Phil. It's
Yeah.
just so
Here's my
much.
problem, though.
Yeah,
Nobody can do it like I can do it.
I'm sure.
They can,
Yeah.
but I don't believe that. I can't. I have a hard time, and I'm getting better. Am
Yeah.
I getting better at
Slightly. Yeah.
But I have a certain vision. My color scheme is, even with this, man, all the colors were chosen to match this logo, to complement the logo of the chairs. We're not sold on these chairs yet. You're the second guy to sit in these. We had that black couch sitting over there before, the casting couch.
Got it.
But that stuff is very important. Like, I have a vision, because I said this before. I didn't want to be a plumber. That was not my
You
dream.
wanted to be an
I'm not
interior
in my
designer.
dream industry, okay?
So
It's no secret. I'm a media guy. I like editing. I like photography. I like making videos. I like artistic aspects of that.
Not that there's anything wrong with
Yeah,
that.
but Phil, you know, you know
Screw
what?
you.
I think when it's your company, you know, look, I'm the same way in a lot of respects. Maybe not to the degree that you are, but when it's your company and it's your brand and it's your logo, it's your baby.
Yeah,
And you need it to be a certain way.
exactly.
And you need it to be marketed a certain way. And you need to have a lot of input. Like all those videos that you see, the ones we do, I have a lot of input on those videos.
That's good, yeah.
Like, take out this cut. This doesn't look good. This looks a little messy. Take this out. I don't like the way that looks. You know, crop this or whatever. Like, a lot of input. It's not just, okay, guys, go out, shoot it, cut it, post it.
Yeah.
No, there's some things that you need to make sure that you have your eyes on, especially when you're proud of your company. You're proud of your company. I'm very proud of my company, what we build, especially something that we work so hard to build. And it's a branding thing too.
Yeah.
Right? You want it to send a certain image. You want the image to be certain. And I'm proud of that. So I have a lot of input on it, like as you do.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, listen, for the reels, even for the reels, I make sure that the lettering and the text is right.
You have to.
I have 12 background songs that I cycle through. I don't just put any old music. It's
Yep.
a certain type of music. The logo is a certain size. Stuff that nobody would notice, but I notice it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our blue shirts, we wear blue button downs. Not most plumbers are wearing t-shirts.
Yes.
We wear blue button downs.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed when I walked in was you wearing that shirt.
Yeah. So we wear.
Yeah,
I have the
it's
blue
not
button
just a
downs.
t-shirt.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what my grandfather used to wear. So I kind of like to throw it back to the 60s and 70s when he was running it. You know, he always wore the blue button down, rolled up sleeves. I'll never forget that. That's how he worked. So I could see, listen, you're very put together. You're clean, tucked in shirt, clean pants, clean shirt. I'm in the field, so I'm not always clean like that.
Yeah.
But that image is important to me. It's important to maintain.
Right.
And if I give that to somebody else, I know they're going to send me back and I'm going to say, forget it. I'll do it myself.
Right.
That's a problem I have. Here, bring this a little bit closer.
Okay.
So marketing, branding, that's my aspect. I
Right.
mean, do you notice, you probably don't notice the things that I notice. I don't think you have that type of eye.
I do.
It's not a bad thing.
When you ask me, I always put my input and you know,
I always ignore it.
he ignores it but like I remember when you were editing a video one time and you go, do you hear that? Do you hear that little ba or whatever? And I'm like, it goes to that Michael Jackson. You ever see the Michael Jackson documentary where he's redoing the single part of a song with the piano player, and I don't hear anything. I don't hear any difference in the way that the piano player is playing it, but like because he was a perfectionist, he made him redo it like 200 times,
Yeah.
just like an insane amount
I've
of
never
times.
seen that, but I know what you're talking about.
It was the documentary before he died that he made, and it was for his last tour, and he's making this piano player like dun, 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 and it's like I don't hear it, but he does. Some people who are just in it,
I hear it.
and they hear
It'll
it.
make me
like
go
he's
insane.
a great musician.
Yes.
All right, he plays piano.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Yeah, don't.
Oh,
don't get
Phil's
too,
a great
yes,
musician.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Michael Jackson.
Jackson's
Yes,
a great musician.
no,
of
he's
course.
actually a really good.
Michael
musician.
Jackson's okay.
But he hears it. What do you mean he's okay?
I'm joking.
But like,
Yeah.
Phil can hear something. We can play a song, and and he hears it, and he's like, okay, I just need a few times, and I got it, and then he's got it. So
Yeah.
I don't have that. I'm not musically inclined. I'm not. Like, I don't see the lighting, he changed it from blue lights to white lights. I'm like, yeah.
It's
well, it
detail
looks-
oriented. You're detail oriented. That's good. You're in tune with that. That's
I mean,
good.
do I got to say something nice about you?
No,
Okay. 'Cause I got nothing.
I don't want you to. It would make me feel uncomfortable.
How'd you find your social media guy?
some trial and error.
Because I get questions a lot about social media with business owners. How do I do this? How do I do that? Because
Yeah.
it's huge. It's almost everything at this point.
You got to vet those types of guys.
Yes.
You got to see how detail oriented they are and how they listen to you.
Right.
And if they listen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you
have to be able to project that vision to them, and they have to be able to be receptive.
and they have to get it.
They got to get it.
Yeah.
They're not, yeah. Okay.
I mean, they have.
So you don't like giving, you don't think, like for me, I would say I would give somebody, yes, I would have a vision, but I might give somebody kind of free reign, somebody who's like an expert in that field to just like take it and kind of roll with it because they might know something better than I do. So you don't think that you could just give it to somebody, say, listen, this is my idea, this is my vision, roll with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Max, I totally agree with you. But in my industry and even in yours, there are certain things you have to show, right?
Yeah, okay.
And certain aspects of the installation or the job or whatever that you want to show.
Yeah.
And that they have to be cognizant of to show,
Right.
to video. But the way that they show it, how they project it, how they cut it, how they transition, some of these transitions are awesome. Whatever music they put behind it,
Right.
that's all.
Okay.
Let them be creative. Let them use what their knowledge is and their expertise. That's why you're hiring them, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Well, I would say it's similar to like us. When somebody hires you and they go, hey, it's just a faucet. I think you should kind of do this.
Oh.
Or I think it's easy to do like that. And I'm like, I can
Just
I
mush
can
their
just
face.
right there.
You hate that.
Yeah.
I had a guy. I had a customer. You know people who park it behind you when you're working.
Yeah.
And they're just watching. I get that, but they have a conversation for most of the time, and they want to talk. They want to hang out, and they talk, and they want to look over your shoulder. To an extent, I'm okay. It's your house, okay? You're allowed to stand wherever you want.
Yes.
I had a guy. I was working on his water main that stood right here and didn't say a word.
Just watching you.
Just stared. I was so uncomfortable. But what do you say? Like, sir, can you go clean something upstairs or something? Well, what do you say to the homeowner? It was so uncomfortable.
Well, you know what? I would be the homeowner who would watch what he does, because that would be awesome.
Well, because
to
that's
me.
interesting.
It's super.
You probably have
it's very
people
cool.
watching you all the time. That's
Phil,
fascinating.
guys. You wouldn't even like.
Is it annoying though?
Why it's worse?
Yeah.
Because it's normally not the homeowner.
Oh, it's people walking
rolling
by.
up.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was on a job one time. We were in Fairlawn. It was an emergency water service. Okay. It was maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We probably mobilized at 2 because the guys were getting off a job, and I think we got a call. We're going to do this service, and we're replacing this guy's service line, and he had a bad leak, and a neighbor just comes walking over, and he just stands 3 feet from the hole. We have cones around it. We have barricades. We safe everything off so the pedestrians can walk around and they're safe. And I had to get involved because I don't mind somebody peering over 5, 6, 7, 8 feet over,
Right.
or whatever, but the guy's literally standing over the hole.
He's all up in your grill.
He's all up in us. It's a safety hazard, number one.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
total safety hazard.
Yeah.
It's not about the guy being there and being interested. It's just a safety hazard. So you have to go up to the gentleman. You have to say diplomatically, "Hey, sir, we have a trench here, and we're trying to replace this water service, and we're trying to keep it as safe as possible. Would you mind just standing back?" And the guy has to get into, well, you don't own the hole. You don't own the street. I can stand wherever I want. He's got to get into that thing, and his terms to turn into that. So you got to be diplomatic, and we have that all the time, right? We're in a road, and whoever, Livingston, and people are just, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And my guy's got to be like, "Sir, mind standing back a little bit? It's a hole." But generally, there's cones, so they're kind of breaking through that barrier too.
Right.
Or they're walking through the cones. They'll
you're
walk on
talking
the
about people
sidewalk,
coming
and
through.
then they'll kind of come through. And
Oh, dude, that is annoying.
if you have a cop on site and you're in the road, the cops are normally on top of it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Hey guys, stand back.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be here."
Do you have to? Do you bill for that? Like, if you have to call cops? No. If you have to call the town.
Bill for people peering in.
People watch.
Annoying fee.
Yeah. No, for people who for jobs where you kind of have to go into the street, and you said you might have to call cops over to come.
Absolutely.
And you bill for that,
you
right?
have to. Yeah, you have to. We're not, we're transparent with it, right? We tell the client, look, we got to open a road. Most towns are going to have an ordinance. Unless you're in a really, really, really quiet street, they let you shut it down without a cop. Look, we have all MUTCD signs, which are, the acronym for Manual Uniform Traffic Control Devices, right? We stock these things so we can shut a road down the proper way and conform to DOT standards and road standards, and municipalities don't bark at us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you close a road down, 90% of every city in New Jersey, you're going to need a cop.
Yeah.
So you have to hire a cop. You got to go to the city, Jobs for Blue or Visual Computer Solutions or one of the two, and you hire a cop, and they're expensive.
They are expensive.
Very expensive. They're going to sit out there for the day. They may not do much, but on some jobs where you're opening a road and you have to lane shift, and they're absolutely useful. and they're out there. They're doing their job. They're out there, and sometimes it's even just good to have them as presence. They have the lights on.
Yes.
Right. It's a deterrent for people. People come up the street. They see it's a cop. They're not going to mess around.
They're not going to mess around.
They're not going to mess around. They're not going to blow through a road close sign. They see a cop there.
Yeah.
I'll say generally,
so, you know,
as a blue collar tradesman or what it is, there's a mutual respect between us and cops for the most part.
absolutely.
Anytime I see a cop, even if in the work truck or if I have to get past a street that's closed, construction's down the way, and I have to get the house right here, they're very kind. They're very generous. You know, there's like an understanding almost between law enforcement and us because
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would say equally, both industries are making the world go round.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they're holding it down with law and order. We're holding it down health wise. You're ripping out old sewer lines. Like we're doing like the work that nobody else wants to do.
Right.
You know,
All except for that one up in Englewood.
what was that?
All except for that one up in Englewood. Remember late night coming back from Englewood from a job,
No,
and the road was closed, and I said, "How do I get to Route
What
4?"
a jerk!
Yeah, I said, "How do I get to Route 4?" How do I get to Route 4? Because all of the lanes were blocked to Route 4, and he ignored me. And then I said, "Yo, how do I get to Route 4 from here? Can I just?" And he goes, "Go around." And I go around where? All the roads are
You're
closed.
blocking everything.
And he just like it was so.
He was so angry. He wanted to fight the guy.
But
It's like
whatever.
Yeah. It's look in every industry, in every facet, you're going to find guys that just
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
About that.
You always have to think that you are on display to everyone, especially in that shirt, especially in this shirt.
Yes, you
You're
are.
on display to the world.
You are.
You're driving a truck with your last name on it, not in your case with your business name on
I have
it.
my business
Just
name
throw
on
the
it.
McDonald's bag out the window.
Yeah.
Can't
My
do
guys,
that
my
anymore.
guys know that. I tell them all the time.
Yeah.
You're driving a company truck. You
Yeah.
drive it safe. You know, most
Yeah.
of them have CDL licenses anyways because they have to. But even the ones that the small trucks or utility trucks, they're driving a truck with my name,
Yeah.
my license number, my DOT numbers on
Yeah.
there. They have to be responsible.
Yep.
Okay, so absolutely, yeah.
So Leslie, you don't have to go into detail. You don't have to lay actual numbers, but doing the numbers for my company was a journey.
Yeah.
I had to learn a lot on my own. A lot of YouTube videos, a lot of how-to, a lot of Googling. When you started, well, let me ask you first, but let me preface this with this question. You have 12, you have about 12 guys now, 3 people in the office. Where did you start? Like, how many did,
Yeah,
was
so
it just you and Yuri?
It was myself and Yuri.
No way.
Yes.
Doing this kind of work, just you two?
Holy smokes.
At that point, we had a couple of employees. You know, we had 1 or 2 guys. You know, my
Just-
brother
just
was
an
with
extra
us.
set of
My
hands.
youngest brother was with us at the time. He was just learning, but he was good. He was a good worker. He learned very, very quickly. And we had a couple of guys at the time, which, oh my God, it's completely in one in, one out. One in,
Really?
one out. Yeah, yeah. This is for the longest time.
Was it
because
guys just that didn't want to do this work, or was it just like
I think
you didn't want them?
let's put it this way. The hiring process is slow, right? The firing process is quick, right?
Yeah.
Because we want to bring the right people in. It starts
Yeah.
with a good mindset, and then it trickles down to everything else that they do. And if they're
Yeah.
not up to snuff with the mindset and to work the way we want, not that we want them to work, so to speak, the way we work, the way Brute works as a
Yeah.
company, and how we stand by our product and our integrity, then we don't want them here.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of turnover for some time, but we started to go back to what your question was, Phil. We started with just the 2 of us.
Wow.
We go out there and just him and I and do whatever we need
Work,
to do.
do your
work.
numbers, do the billing, all that
Absolutely.
stuff.
Do the building, do the
It's
billing,
brutal.
do the estimating, do the work. You know, at the time we were in our 20s.
Yeah.
No, we're now children, families right now, but be very tough to try to do that now. But we had the time back then.
I see a lot of videos and podcasters that get on and they have this attitude of or just general like commentators like, oh, money hungry business owners and all that stuff. It's like you have no idea what it takes to keep this thing running. The worry. somebody said, I heard this comment, said, you haven't lived until you've had to put payroll on a credit card. These people have no clue. And then when you finally arrive, I heard another video. Some guy goes, everyone, when you're trying to make it and you're sleeping in your car and you're putting in the grind, everyone's behind you. And when you make it, everyone's against you.
That's a good one.
It's true.
It's a good one.
Because they look at you now that you finally have reached success, a little bit of success, and you're driving a nicer car, and you don't have to work so much, you can delegate. Then they look at you like, this guy thinks he's better than us. It's like, dude, what do you think I've been doing for the last 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
Trying to make it here. You had my back then. Now that I made it, you don't, So I have fought with people, and this is not smart, because all my social media is business social media. And I'll banter with people online. I don't go too crazy, but I'll comment on a lot of blue collar posts, on business owner posts and stuff like that. And I'll argue with these people like, you have no clue what it takes to do this and have all this on your shoulders and have employees and have people that are depending on you for a paycheck and keeping the business going and all that stuff. You have no idea. No clue. You just sit there and you're commenting behind your freaking keyboard, bad-mouthing business owners because we're money hungry. It's like, dude, first of all, what is it? You said this stat. I don't know if you remember it. Half of the country, small business?
No, I think it's like 70% of all business is still small business.
Look, it's what this
like
country's,
registered
it's what this
business,
country's built on.
Bro, it propels the economy, small business.
It's not built on the huge corporate
Nope.
company.
I mean, I think
It's built
your
on us.
business by 12 employees is still considered a small business.
It absolutely is.
Yeah,
Max.
it's not a...
It
Oh, you have
absolutely
small
is.
businesses that'll have 50 employees.
Yeah.
Still considered a small
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not here to... Of course I'm here to make money and make a living and have a house and be able to take a vacation and, but I want my guys to succeed. I want to be able to pay them well. I want to give them profit sharing and give them a hand in what they're helping build.
I agree.
And most of the business owners, I'll say all of the business owners that I know, they're the same attitude.
Yeah.
No one's trying to sit here and hoard.
No.
Of course you're putting out all the risk. So you're gonna pay yourself according to that if you can afford it. But I'm here to move the industry along, raise the next generation.
Think about the guys that we have. Right? We have 10, 12 guys in the field, whatever, All the guys that are in the field like coming to work every day, have built a camaraderie between the guys that are there.
Yeah.
Some of these guys are working 6, 7 o'clock at night because we got a late job. They got to get back home and they got to finish something out, but they know they're not going to get home at 4 o'clock, 4:30. They're staying.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, most of the guys that are doing it, I would say that they're proud of what they do.
Yeah.
Because we're building that.
Yep.
Right? I want to be able to, and my business partner has the same mindset, that this company is not just for me, not just for him. I got my 2 brothers with me, which is awesome.
Right.
I get to see them. I get to work with them hand in hand. And the people we bring in, I know them on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? And I get to level with them. And I get to provide them, we get to provide them with a good place to work, with benefits, with a good pay. They're building a career here.
We got to talk about benefits.
Do you know what I'm saying? But that's what we're giving.
That's
It's
what
not
you're
just, hey,
building.
come in for the day of work, we're going to pay you this and you're going to
Yeah.
leave. It's not that.
You're building something.
We're building something. We're
Yeah.
building a career here for those guys.
Yep.
And I think they respect that. And in turn, they work hard for us.
Yeah.
Right? We ask them to go to battle and they go to battle. And it's really a good feeling. But like you said, Phil, the other side of that is having the stress and a little bit of the worry of, I got to provide for these guys. I got to keep the work ahead of these guys. We got to make sure that we can pay them, of course, right? All these things. You got to make
Yep.
enough money to do all these things and carry the costs and the overhead. And there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
Look, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
No.
Okay, that's not
Not
why
everybody has this.
That's not why everybody, because everybody would do it if
Yeah.
not. But then you have, like you said, the people that maybe sit behind a keyboard and they have to give their opinions because that's just the way the world is nowadays. Right?
It's most little spoiled commies, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you enjoy coming to work every day?
Yeah.
Have I made a good environment for you to come to work?
Yeah. I also I wouldn't want to do anything else really. I've tried other things.
I would love to do a lot of other things, but here I am.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I can think about 100 other things that I'd like to be doing.
you can make
joking.
a lot of money doing a lot of other things, but this is what I enjoy doing, actually.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I've made more money at other jobs. I just didn't enjoy doing it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yes, at the end of the day, money is important. I don't care what anybody says. It is important, but it's not the end all be all. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then, you know, might as well not do it.
My uncle said on the podcast, actually, for the Thanksgiving episode, we had him on. He goes, people say, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. He goes, that's straight up bullshit. Okay. Because even if you love it, it's still work.
Eventually, it just
it's
becomes
still
work.
stress,
It is.
you know?
Yeah.
But you get into like I said before, I didn't want to be a plumber. That wasn't my dream.
Mm-hmm.
I like other things. I'm a music guy. I'm a video guy. I'm an artistic guy.
My dreams died young.
What I did was I got into plumbing and I found how can I incorporate my interest into this. So we started this. I started doing social media, started editing videos, started putting that stuff together. So I incorporated my interests that are very far from plumbing and I put it into the industry. And now we kind of have a lot of things that almost no other plumbers do. There's no other plumbers that are doing this.
I don't know of any that.
Yeah, you know? I'm sure there's tradesmen that do it, but like, you know, so we figured out, I mean, I said, okay, I like to do other things. Let me incorporate that, you know? Let me get back to what I asked you before about where you guys started with just the two of you, which is crazy to me, the work you guys are doing. And now you have 12 guys, you have an office staff and all that stuff. How did you figure out how to charge your time? How did you put together your numbers? Because it was a struggle for me.
You know what we did that actually shed some light on it was we actually spoke to a couple of guys in the industry.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Yeah. Yeah, we had experience with a decent network at the time of plumbers and of guys that were doing some of the work. Maybe they weren't doing it specifically, right?
Yeah.
But I think we had a little bit of nuance there, and I think it helped with some of the pricing. Look, we were probably priced very, very low in the beginning, but we had to be. You have to break the barrier.
Yes.
We priced very low, but you know what were our costs at that time? When you're hungry and you're new, some people in this industry, in this business, especially obviously some clients, the only thing they care about is bottom line.
Right.
That's it. The one thing I will say that we've always been able to maintain is the way we've performed our work. Although it's evolved over the past 10 years or so, whatever, the integrity, the moral standards were always there. I think people saw that from the beginning. We've never gotten away from that. We've always kept that a core competency. But then in terms of, getting smarter, again, we touched on it a little bit earlier. You boil down your costs. You put pen to paper. What does it cost me? What does a guy cost me? What does a truck cost me? What does fuel cost me? What do these things cost? And you have that number. You say, okay, I have to charge this. And sometimes you're put in a position where you charge less just to get something in the beginning, to get that flywheel turning,
right?
Right, to get the traction going. You can't do that in every situation.
No.
And if you did it more times than not, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
You are. Because you're undercutting yourself and you won't make money that way, number one. And number two, you won't be able to uphold what you're preaching. Right?
Yeah.
Because at some point you're just going to be a salesman.
Yep.
And you don't want to be that.
That's a great
you'll
point.
Cut corners too to hit that value mark, You won't give everybody that exceptional service that you give,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't cut corners in this industry.
Can't.
You cannot cut corners.
You got to you got to charge fairly to the point where you can treat your customers right and you're not rushing in and out. Absolutely. You're not forgetting stuff.
Absolutely.
And you got to pay for that. You got to pay for a good guy to come into your house and do the right job. Whatever industry it is.
I totally agree.
Yeah. We got a lot of, I know tons of plumbers all over the board. We got guys that are still charging $150 an hour, which is just insane to me. Post-COVID, are you out of your mind? How are you even eating? Then I know guys who are charging what was it? What we had?
I think
$600, $700 an hour.
Yeah, $600
You
an
know?
hour for like those big like gold medal type trucks.
There's a lot of private equity.
You know that
They're
they
up there.
bought out by
Those service
private
type
equity.
companies.
So
They're
we've
outrageous.
we've gotten to sample an array of all different types of plumbers, how they do it and stuff, and which helps putting our numbers together.
Right.
Because I know what we can afford. I know what I want to grow at.
Right.
You know, we put that number on it. And now, because listen, the first 3, and I lied before, I said 1 to 2 years. Let's be honest, it was like 3, 4.
What?
We're
for what?
trying to figure out numbers. It was longer than
Oh,
the first couple
still,
of, you know.
still.
Oh no, it takes time.
Yes.
Listen, it's
it
still-
takes time.
But now that I know that, now that I know the skeleton of my business, now I can talk to customers with confidence. I can sell my price with confidence. I know that we lie middle, maybe a little high,
Yep.
but I know why we lie there, you know? And like I said before, I want to teach my guys that. I don't want them to go out there and not know anything. I had some guys on here, 2 guys who work for another company, they don't even know how to estimate. They've been there for years. They have one old guy that goes out, he does all the estimates, and they just go do the work. When the customer says, oh, you know what, while you guys are here, you mind putting in a toilet? They're like, okay, well, we have to call the boss to find out how much to charge you. Crazy.
Yeah.
I want my guys to know everything because I want to push them into the industry.
Right.
I don't want to hoard dudes here. I want good employees to come. I want them to put in a couple years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years, and move on and build the industry. I'm not trying to hoard workers. It's ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, our industry is a bit different, you know, with that. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, our guys we're very transparent about where we are in terms of cost with them.
Yeah.
I have to let them know because they have to know what things cost. They can't be, what's it called? Irresponsible, especially the guys that are managing a lot of the equipment, the operations and things like that. They have to know.
Yeah.
So we have these conversations, but at the same time, you know, we're building a company that, listen, I want my guys there for 30 years. I want the guys that are comfortable there, get good benefits, know the work, do the work in and out. I want that.
Ooh.
I want those guys. I want those guys going to be here for a long time, and I can trust and rely on and build relationships so they can move up.
Yeah, I guess
They
you're
could,
right.
they could get better. No, I'm serious. You know, I want to grow the company. I want to grow the company to something that is a pretty good force, right? And you're only going to do that when you have good people. You can't do
It's
it.
true, yeah.
You can't do it. You can't do. It's not going to just be me. It's my partner. You need to have good people, and you need to be able to. It takes a lot of time to build.
Yeah.
But it also takes trust.
Yep.
So, you know, look, it's a trade-off. It depends on the mindset you have and the type of industry you're in and what you want out of your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I want this name to last quite some time.
What's the plans for the future? Grow.
Yeah,
Sell?
grow. No, not sell. I want to grow, but I want to grow. We've been growing at a very, very conservative rate. Okay, we're not looking to blow this thing up. Okay, we've been approached by a couple of different people to do that because they have interest in the company, but we
You
don't
got
want
to sell your soul?
We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to be those types of owners. This is, again, we have a lot of pride with the company. We built it ourselves, Yuri and I, literally from nothing. I mean, it's not like we have a Rinchuckle or someone that said, give you money. No, this is built from the ground up. Him and I.
Yeah. Sure sounds like it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pride there, and we want to grow it. We want to grow it the right way. That's it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't just want to bring in anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put this crew on.
Right.
Let's go. You know what happens? You do that, you lose the quality. You lose a little bit of control. They're going to go and mess something up. Something's going to get screwed. You're just not going to be able to.
You're not going to be able to look at
You're not
that
going to be
name.
able to quality control.
I'm not going to be proud of it, and
Yeah.
I want to be proud of it. I want people to use the company and be proud that they made the right choice. That's where we're at. It's always been that way. Yeah.
You got a great baritone speaking voice. I think you should start a podcast.
Dude, every time. You know how many times people have said that to me? I
Are you a singer?
I am not a singer. I am not.
Really?
I am not. I do not sing. Or maybe to my kids. Every
Yeah, I
once in a
guess
while.
so, yeah.
Other than that,
You got a great voice for the microphone. It's going to sound great. You're going to woo a lot of people, and I know it. They're just
You're
going to
gonna
replace their
woo a
sewer
lot of
lines just to hear
people.
you talk. Anything else you want to say to our audience out there? Throw it out. as far as Brute or advice on starting a business, running a business, anything? What do you got?
I think that's it. I think the starting a business is great. I think more people should. I really do. I think that the newer generation, the younger generation should think about starting their own business.
Just take the leap.
Take the leap. I know I know that things are somewhat uncertain. Things are always going to be uncertain.
Yeah.
What doesn't make a difference what presidency we're in, what economy we're in.
Yep.
I firmly believe that. I think that, but if you have the drive and you have the motivation and it's something that you want to do, I'm a proponent of just putting in the work.
Yeah.
You just put in the work and things will materialize.
Yep.
The fear goes away, the uncertainty goes away because you're doing something. You're doing something you're gonna create it, right? And then something all of a sudden, an obstacle you're approached with, what am I gonna do? Well, you just outwork the problem.
Right.
And then that problem becomes nothing. And then you deal with that again, and I dealt with that before, right?
And you're getting better at it.
And all of a sudden something else comes up and it's a little bit bigger, and you outwork that problem.
Yep.
And you start to build confidence, and you start to, again, turn that flywheel and get things moving. And I think more younger guys should do it.
I agree.
Really do. I think it will. It's again, we talked about it. It's what this country is.
100%.
What it's based on.
Walmart doesn't make the economy.
No,
it's us.
No, it's us.
Small
guys.
business
It's us.
owners.
Yeah.
The little chocolate store down the road, Critchley's, that we had on the show.
Critchley's.
The little gourmet.
Critchley's that's the pizza
Critchley's
joint.
Candies.
Oh, Critchley's Candies.
Yeah.
We're not talking about
You're talking about Kinchley's up
Kinchley's. Yeah, you're thinking of
Kinchley's.
Kinchley's.
Mawa.
Oh, amazing.
Or Ramsey,
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll put
So we
that
had a
whole-
pizza guy on the show,
Are we going to
Grumpy's
the pizza conversation here?
but Kinchley's is delicious.
Kinchley's is
Yes.
It's those little businesses.
Yes.
It's the gourmet food market we had on the
Kinchley's been around
street.
forever.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Dan, listen, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for
Really
coming on.
Pleasure, really.
I kind of threw it out there at the association meeting, and you were like right on board.
I loved it. I love the idea.
Guys, get Dan Radici, Brute Contracting. Once again, brutecontracting.com, not org. Brutecontracting.com. 2012 opened. Let me get the phone number again, 201-447-0721. You're on Instagram.
Yes.
At Brute Contracting Inc.
Yes, I believe so.
All right, I'll find it. I'll put
Find
it up.
Make sure you get the right one, Phil.
Facebook?
Yes.
TikTok?
No, I don't know so much TikTok. We started that. It got a little nuts. Not in it so much.
It's a little annoying.
Yeah.
It's a little. I'm going to give you a trick for social media. You got to tell your guy.
Facebook, Instagram, and we do have a YouTube channel as well.
And you have a YouTube channel.
We do. There's some videos up there. There's actually one of me explaining an Orangeburg sewer line replacement. You should check it out.
Yeah, I want to.
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. You'll
Maybe
see
I'll
it.
throw up that for
I
your
want
ad
to.
in the
One
middle.
day,
Cool.
one day you're gonna see me hovering over the little cones at the job site.
Vax, you're
looking
welcome.
what you're
Just gotta
doing.
grab a vest.
And he's going to go.
We're gonna get you a vest, and you're gonna be welcome.
He's going to go. You don't own this hole.
You're gonna start giving the guys a problem.
Oh man.
You just tell them you know Dan. Just tell every guy in the crew, I know Dan. I'm here to see that hole. I want to make sure everything's good.
All right. Good time, Dan. Thanks a lot,
You're
folks. Thanks for watching. As always, we want to remind you that the show is sponsored by Jigsaw, jigsawpmr.com, your solution to property maintenance and restoration, fire, water, sewer, mold. He'll come in, totally clean up your house if you have any flood damage, anything like that. Super, super reliable contractor. Also, Plum Bums is sponsored by the New Jersey State League of Master Plumbers. If you are a plumber, join your local association. Get involved. They lobby for you. They've, what is the word? Fight for you. There's another word. I was trying
Lobby is
to lobby.
the word.
Whatever. I was thinking of something else, but they'll lobby the government for you. They raise charity. They donate to charity. They raise scholarships. Donate to a lot. Pascack Valley definitely donates to a lot of really cool charities. We want to remind you to like, share, subscribe, share the reels. We can always use all the viewers. Share with your friends. Share the reels. Give me a comment. Give us a like. Something. All right. And guys, if you're interested in being on the show, we're always looking for people who are in a really cool industry, small business owners, entrepreneurs. If you're interested in coming on, you're going to go to quartzplumbing.com. You're going to click the podcast link right in the upper right-hand corner, scroll down to the Be a Guest application, and fill that out. We get you on. It's a lot of fun. It's basically one long commercial for your business. What did you think, Dan? You had fun today?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Take
Thank you
Dan's
so
word
much.
for it. You got to come on. All right, folks, as always, we will see you here next time.